Good morning friends and welcome to the pre-market view. We've seen strong rally in the US markets wherein both Dow and Nasdaq were up about 1 to almost about 1.8%, led by the strength in the technology stocks. Also FOMC meeting is underway and the minutes are suggesting that the bond purchase program is likely to continue till 2014. And European markets were also up about 1 to almost about 2.25%, and some of the data points that came out were pretty positive. Italy could raise almost about 11 billion euros at a record low yield for a shorter term loan, and also the French industrial production data came in as a positive surprise. And when we look at the Asian markets today morning, most of the markets are up almost about 0.85 to 1%. And in terms of data point, China reported for the first time after a long time a trade deficit number of almost about $885 million as against the surplus of about $1,575 million in the previous quarter. Most of the markets have not reacted negatively to this data. The Chinese markets are up about 0.25%. And in terms of flows, the FIs were net biased in the cash market to the tune of about 40 crore. The domestic institutions were biased to the tune of almost about 200 crore. Remember friends, we are seeing very strong numbers of net buying by the domestic institutions for the past couple of days. Yesterday they were biased to the tune of almost about 1000 crore. Even in yesterday's market they were biased to the tune of almost about 200 crore. However, in the index futures we continue to see selling by the FIIs, and our markets showed tremendous pullback in the middle session yesterday, which is primarily led by the IT, the banks and the ADAG pack, which was up almost about 5 to 12%, and remarkably Arcom was the best performing stock with a up move of about 13%, where there are reports that finally the tower sharing deal could be officially announced in the next 1 or 2 days time. On that note, let me invite Sadhna to take us through important F&O cues, data and strategies that we can have in the F&O markets.
Good morning friends, let's have a view on derivatives. In yesterday's trade post-lunch, markets took a U-turn and headed towards the northward direction from intraday low. And we have seen from third day in a row short positions were building up in the market, as around 10 lakh shares were added in open interest, and also Nifty futures premium decreased from 5.75 to 5.15 odd levels. And PCR is also increased from 0.83 to 0.88, which is clearly indicating put option has seen a good number of accumulation in open interest. It is clearly visible in the strikes of 5400, 5300 and 5200. As we are trading below our weekly VWAP of 5670, so overall our trend for the market is negative, and any rise in the market can be taken as opportunity to go short with a resistance of 5670. From intraday perspective, one can go long on Voltas with a stop loss of 77.40, and one can go short on Ashok Leyland with a stop loss of 22.30. Thank you.
Here are the important news and events that we are tracking today. First of all, Mahindra is looking at launching a hatchback called Vibe at about ₹6 lakhs, which is basically directly in competition with Swift and Hyundai's i20, which have been doing extremely well. And also in another negative development, the Nasik plant of Mahindra, which is located at Igatpuri, there is some kind of a strike by the workers, so the work has come to a halt. Though it's a small capacity, but this news is sentimentally negative for Mahindra. There are indications from Etihad that their deal with Jet could get delayed to August, as the government of India has not given them any kind of an assurance of their investments. So this is a bit of a negative for Jet Airways, as the deal could get delayed. And Mahindra Holidays and Resorts has finalized the price of their QIP at ₹255 per share. Petronet Energy, some positive news, as they are looking at taking 26% stake in a venture to haul gas in its new terminal capacity at Kochi. And this entire thing is going to be operated by a consortium of ship operators, and LNG will have a 26% stake in the company. So watch out for some positive action in Petronet LNG in today's market. Infosys will be announcing their numbers tomorrow, and the PAT number that we are looking at is about 2,304 crore, which would be about 2.7% decline quarter on quarter, whereas the top line number that we are looking at is about 10,764 crore, which would be a growth of about 3.3% quarter on quarter. It remains to be seen what kind of a next year guidance the company would be announcing, and the stock has seen some kind of a pickup over the last couple of days, and the IVs also have shot up to almost about 50, which is quite huge for the Infosys and IT pack in particular. So watch out for a good action in Infosys stock even in today's market. Arcom was the stock in action, as there are indications that finally the tower sharing deal could be entered into with Mukesh Ambani Group, and the company also has hived off their global telecom company Reliance Communications global arm for almost about 6,000 crore. They've also entered into a 1,200 crore kind of a deal with Reliance Industries for their optic fiber network. So a spate of news are coming out on the Reliance Communication stock. So go long on Reliance Communication with a stop loss of 72.5 and a target of about 76.5 to almost about 78. SR Oil, which has already restructured its 9,000 crore odd loan, is looking at raising further $1 billion of loan at a much cheaper rate from Chinese banks, and this is definitely a positive for SR Oil. So one can go long there with a stop loss of 76.5 and a target of about 80.5 to almost about 82. Tata Motors came out with extremely good set of numbers on the JLR front, wherein their number stood at almost about 53,772 units, which is almost about 20% kind of a growth. And this is particularly led by the Range Rover, the Jaguar XF Sport Brake, and Evoque. So most of these models are doing extremely well. And on the back of that, one can go long on Tata Motors with a stop loss of 262 and a target of about 276 to about 281. That's it from all of us, friends. Have a great trading session. See you tomorrow at the same time.